do I go?
You're good.
All right, we're starting the Urban Experience Committee meeting. This is my first time chairing a meeting. Karen's not here, so I got thrown in. So I'm going to call the meeting to order. And is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved. Second?
All right. All those in favor of approving the minutes?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
Oh, there was an aye?
No.
Or was that just delayed?
That's just the way.
Okay. All right. Minutes are approved. The first thing on the agenda here is for SMC 1039 modifications, special events cost recovery with Carly. So Carly, can you take it away?
It's been a while since I've been in chambers, so
Yeah.
here, I know. Sorry, Hannah, which folder is it? Can you help finding it? Ah. Nope. There we go. Sorry, everybody. All right. Take this one out. Everybody hear me okay? We'll share screen. Okay. Thanks for having me, everybody. So this is a very long process, so I want to provide a little bit of background because we have several new council members, so been a little, oh, thank you, Hannah Lee. So I'll try to go through this as quickly as possible, but I did want to provide some context just because I think this is the fourth time I've presented on this change, so I'm really hopeful this will be the time. But traditionally, we have per ordinance a cost recovery mechanism for the public safety costs related to having a special event. Those are typically police and fire. In recent years, we have had some public works costs associated with using the heavy equipment trucks to block intersections as sort of a safety factor. As long as I've been in the city, which is 19 years now, we have split those costs for the big three events. So Bloomsday, Hoop Fest, and Pig Out in the Park have paid 60% of the cost recovery, whereas the city has picked up the other 40%. We have traditionally not charged anything to our parades, and every other event we charge 100% for. Starting back in 2013, the Office of Neighborhood Services started looking at sort of our special event process, trying to come up with a more realistic approach that was more transparent. That was feedback we got mostly from the smaller events. As you can imagine, the larger ones were usually pretty okay with this, but the smaller events sort of were like, why are we paying 100% when the other ones are not? So we really looked at putting together a report on that. In 2014, we met with those stakeholder groups. We came back to administration as well as city council with a couple of different options, doing 100% for everybody, 60% for everybody, or incrementally working those in. At the time, you can see how old this was, there was a different committee at the point in time that we presented this. It was a 60% cost recovery was the administration's recommendation at that point in time. At that point, we heard from the parades who basically said, you'll bankrupt us, we can't possibly put on a parade if you're expected to pay that much at the time, so it just sort of died. There was no interest to move forward. So we continued doing what we had been doing, which was 0% for parades and 60% for pretty much everyone else. With the exception of in 2017 for Hoop Fest, we did put into their MOU with the city that we would cap their cost recovery at $58,000 in recognition that at that point in time we were deep in the middle of the Riverfront Park remodel and it was a cost for them to have to move their center court and everything off-site. In 2018 was the first year that we added the big trucks, so they ended up paying was nowhere near 60%. And off the top of my head, I want to say it was about 39%, something along those lines. In 2019, based on feedback that we'd also been hearing from Bloomsday, that the cost projections were too hard for them to balance. As you may be aware, the overtime costs that are associated with special events are based on the contracts with both police and fire. So it's whoever signs up, if that's a more senior person, obviously it costs more, and therefore from year to year there can be some fluctuation in that. So with that in mind, they capped it at what they thought was a reasonable sort of cost of living inflation back in the good old days rate of 4%. So that was built in with that. In 2019, we came back to council with a Hoop Fest And per their request and in consultation with administration, we capped that at 30% in recognition of they have a $50 million economic impact to the city. The next closest event to that is Bloomsday, which is about 10 million. So a significant difference. When we brought that forward to council at that point in time, council said, you know, we're not cool with that. Again, lack of transparency, a different amount of balance. So we really want you to come up with something else. So at that point in time, we worked on this, and this was kind of the guidelines we got from City Council at that point in time. Not necessarily to have 100% cost recovery, but to meet the objectives of being transparent, equality, kind of basically everybody should have to pay something, but also recognize those events with economic impact, that, you know, there is something that we're gaining from that. Also recognition of community events. Things like parades are essentially free entertainment. You have to pay to play in Hoop Fest, but you can go attend the St. Patty's Day Parade for nothing. And then the avoidance of unintended consequences, and this has been a big one as well, of having a good cost structure that events that should be in parks are in parks and not being conducted on the right-of-way, and vice versa. We don't want to outprice anybody that they're doing things where maybe, you know, some events should be in a park. That's where they're better designed to be. So basically, to meet these objectives, the main takeaway was, again, everyone should pay a little bit of something. So we came back in 2020 with a new proposal, which was 25% cost recovery for parades, 50% for those legacy events, so down from the 60 for what I call the big three, and then 75% for all other events. So typically those were the ones paying 100. We took that down 25. We still have in the ordinance a cap for free speech events, so any demonstration event, which we would consider like the MLK March and the Pride Parade to be demonstration events, they're capped at $500 cost recovery. So at the time, this was in February of 2020, council was pretty supportive, but then COVID hit and there weren't any special events, so we let that go. We came back a year later and presented this information about the same time last year. And at that point in time, we heard from the parades still that this was not feasible for them, largely because, again, back to that budgeting issue, that there was too much fluctuation and it was very hard for a nonprofit to be able to budget that. I've included this chart just sort of as a visual aid to kind of see what that average is over a 5-year time period. You can see Pig Out's the most stable, which kind of makes sense. They're ones in the park. There isn't a lot of fluctuation there. You can see for like St. Patty's Day 2018 was a lot higher. My recollection was that there was a pretty significant dignitary in that parade that required a little bit higher police presence. You can see the same thing. Hoop Fest, obviously 2018 was really high compared to 2019. That was a push by the previous administration on SPD to really try to rein in those costs and not be excessive. So, thank you. I'll stop. Councilmember Stratton has a question.
Just a very quick question. Do we know the economic impact of the St. Patrick's Day Parade and the Lilac Parade? Do we have any idea of those impacts?
We have officially ones from Bloomsday and Hoop Fest have provided that Gonzaga University paid for. Pig Out in the Park has provided an unofficial one. They were at $5 million. Lilac has never submitted a formal one, to my knowledge. They do say that their economic impact is $4.5 million, as memory serves, and I've never seen anything for St. Patty's Parade. But good question.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome. So again, with that, keeping in mind that it's sort of difficult to budget, what we came back with last year was a flat fee approach. So essentially how we came up with this is I took the 5-year average of all those events. I threw out all the anomalous years that you saw for some of those ones that were like, who knows, you know, again, there's not going to be a dignitary every single year, so we can plan for that. So coming up with that average, and then also had to add on 20% to it, essentially, to make up for the police contract of about 4% a year over 5 years. And that's how we came up with that proposed flat fee that you see. And these are for the events, again, that typically haven't been charged or been on an MOU structure. For Pride Parade and MLK, for example, you can see the $500, again, because those are recognized free speech events. That was tentatively agreed to by the events. I think they were still not entirely happy, but they were at least, they could plan for that accordingly. It was something that they could to work forward to. Again, this was about March of last year, and with COVID still being prevalent, and there weren't any events last year for the most part, it was also something that was tabled. So that brings us to where we are today. So with that historical background, we're still planning to move forward with this flat fee approach that we pretty much agreed to last year, but we want to phase it in over 4 years in recognition of COVID and helping some of these events, especially the parades that have never had to pay for anything, to be able to pay for that. So we're proposing for 2022 that there would be a 0% cost recovery for basically everybody that I listed on the previous slide. All other events would pay 75% instead of the 100. 25% of the proposed flat fee in 2023, then 50%, and by 2025, they'd be at that 100% of the flat fee. Again, 75% for everybody else. Free speech events would still be capped. And I think, again, I want to point out this is something that comes up quite a bit. In 2019, we had 212 special event applications. A good portion of those, about 50%, are within our city parks. Most don't require, I mean, even ones that are on the right-of-way sometimes don't require a police or fire presence. They're small enough that they can use the right-of-way. A block party, for example, in a residential area, we're not requiring any police for that. So again, only 28 of that 212 in 2019 required police presence. So it's a small amount that actually require anything. So I think a question that comes up is kind of what is our cost recovery? What would that look like? Again, for 2019, the total cost for special events between police and fire over time was just over $400,000. We only recovered about $147,000. Obviously, like I said, it varies from year to year, also year to year on events. The 212, I would say that's pretty common, about 200 events a year, give or take. So I think that's a pretty good range. Underneath this model, obviously for the first couple of years, we'll be below what we had recovered in the past, but by 2025, when this is fully phased in, we will be recovering over $200,000. So we'll be recovering more than we were in the past. And again, there's another chart example that was also in the briefing paper of what that would look like for those events.
So Carly, can I just, quick question?
Sure.
So you've got it laid out here for kind of the big events or the known events, but what if somebody decides, hey, I want to do a Logan neighborhood parade? How do we figure out what the cost of that would be?
Yeah, really good question. So depending on, and this was something that we tried to figure out to, again, create that type of transparency is, based on this event, I could come up with an estimate on what it would cost. Unfortunately, it just so depends. So Lilac Parade, for example, costs more than St. Patty's Parade because it's at night, and you do have a very large crowd, and it's a very long parade. So they're traditionally our third most expensive event compared to, say, St. Patty's Day. St. Patty's Parade and Junior Lilac Parade both use the same footprint, and they're about the same length. St. Patty's is a little bit longer. The nature of those events are very different. You need more crowd control at the St. Patty's Parade. So to answer that question for like Logan Parade, if they wanted to do something, we would look at the consideration of how many streets need to be blocked off, how long is the parade going to be. Those sort of things would sort of factor into an estimate of what it would cost. The MLK March, for example, not a big footprint, moves pretty quick. I look here really quick.
So under this proposal, would there be sort of a basic equation, if you will, that folks could sort of guesstimate close as to what the cost would be if they were trying to put a parade together?
We're still working towards that. I mean, to be fair, it's a really good question. It's just one of those things that it's, at this point in time, too many unknowns, unfortunately. So we always try to provide that ahead of time. Obviously, police provide like sort of a contract of, we are going to bill you this amount. So if it is a new event, I mean, that's the other thing, most of the events in Spokane typically are every single year. So we usually can provide sort of a baseline. But we would work with events to kind of say, this is what we would anticipate. Lilac, for example, is looking at doing a permanent holiday parade. They had one last year. The cost for that one was about $21,000. So underneath this model, that would be an additional $5,000 for them to come up with to pay. Again, just sort of based on an estimate, but It's a really good point. We're just not there yet.
Well, and would there be a built-in discount if you're doing the parade or the event, say, somewhere in the neighborhoods versus downtown?
Not really, because again, it depends on how many, when you're looking at with a parade, it's mostly going to be traffic control. I think a parade, not in like the hijinks parade, Hilliard up there is a really good example. You can see it's not very much. They made this list simply because they're a parade and they haven't been charging anything, but traditionally they have a very low impact, and that's partially because you're not blocking as many streets. It's a lot quicker. There's no crowd control issues. It's a neighborhood event. Perry Street used to do a parade as well. So all of those factors usually mean that it's going to cost less, but there's no necessarily discount built in.
Who determines the economic impact of an event?
So those were, again, studies provided by Gonzaga's School of Business. I couldn't provide you a lot of detail, sort of
Okay.
out my wheelhouse, but that's what I'm saying. Those are the two certified ones that we've received. So I could provide you copies of those that Hoopfest and Bloomsday have provided that and kind of give you an explanation of how they came up with it.
And then also, what if a free speech event ends up costing or causing significant damages in an area?
There is wording in the ordinance that basically says we can go back and recover that. We have that sort of same thing with like if you use a park and then just leave trash everywhere, that we can go after you essentially for that. We haven't done that. Frankly, we've been really bad about even charging the events for their $500,
Okay.
to be fair.
All right.
In addition to these cost recovery changes, we're also requesting a change in the application fee. Right now, that is $50. We want to increase that, mostly just because we do have city staff, about 15 of us that review the special event applications, coordinate together, work on like Riverside and the central city line is a challenge, and then the resurfacing, the work on Post Street Bridge. So all of those things require coordination. So we're proposing an increase based on size of events. So most of the events in Spokane are medium or less. So most of the events would probably stay at $50, possibly move up to $100. There are the larger ones that would increase, again, proportionally because they spend more time having to coordinate.
So on that, I need to think through the bigger ones, but I think the smaller ones, to me, it would just make more sense to make it 50 for like 0 to 500 or some bigger number. I think 50 is just such a small number that I think most are going to just incidentally end up in that $100 category. And so I think it would just make sense to expand that $50.
Okay. And then the other thing, kind of just sideline on that, we're purchasing, we're in the middle of doing a new software that's going to streamline the special event application process. So right now we do it pretty much all by manual data entry. They fill out a PDF, they mail it, they bring it I won't go into detail, it's a pain. So this new software is going to be way easier for both the sponsor as well as for staff and help streamline and make that, I'm kind of calling it like on base for special events. So we're hoping, again, right now we kind of break even with that $50. So being able to increase the application fee will give us a little bit more wiggle room, and especially as with everything else, their costs go up every year too. So that's another thing that event fee will be going
Sorry,
into.
real quick on this
Sure.
again. So for special events, if somebody having a birthday party in the park, is that a special event?
No, that's a good question.
Okay.
So special events, we've got the ordinance itself is specific to right-of-way. The park rules have different classifications of what's a special event in a park. In general, right, if you want to reserve the forestry shelter for a special event, for a party, it's a reservation fee. It's not a special event. If you were going to have a band or a bouncy house, then we require a special event permit so we can get the insurance to go along with it. But in the park, it's usually triggered by a size if you have 200 people or more.
And then when you're getting your permit, you don't necessarily know how many attendees are coming in. So is that just an estimation?
It's an estimate.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not out there counting. So if Hoopfest tries to tell us that they're only going to have 50 attendees,
people, yeah.
I'll go back after them. But for most, it's just a guess. And then just finally, one of the last things that we're proposing this ordinance change and working on it with police's legal advisor. It was pretty outdated. There were some things that needed to be updated that we're just not in compliance with. So we're not doing anything business-wise change. We're just bringing the code up to what we're currently doing. There's some references in there that refer to code that has been repealed. We have the issuing authority is clearly the chief of police, again, because the right-of-way. We want to add some clarification in there for the director of parks for those park events, and then include the appeals section for permit denials. It currently refers to a different section of the code. We just included that to make it easier for people to understand. So, and that's all I have.
One last question. In terms of the larger events, Bloomsday, Hoop Fest in particular, are they supportive of this proposal? And I ask that because I know Hoop Fest in particular has been offered opportunities to move to the Valley, the West Plains, some other places. We would still benefit, of course, a lot of the hotels are here, but we would lose out on a lot of the impact if they did move.
They're mostly supportive. I think it's, I'll be honest that there's still some back and forth on trying to understand that just because you have economic impact, and again, if your event went away, yes, we would lose that revenue, but it's still, like Hoop Fest is the only one that we're probably making money off of, so to speak. It's
Right.
very convoluted. So I think they're happy that we're moving in a direction that at least recognizes, and I think very appreciative of the phased-in approach with recognition. I don't think anyone's jumping for joy on this proposal, but I think we've at least got everyone to, I can live with this.
Okay.
Have they pushed back on any of the fixed costs or anything along those lines?
Most of, when I talk to the events, almost every single one of them is appreciative of having police there, you know, and I think too, we also let them supplement, like if you have a beer garden event, we don't have police staff that, you have private security that's there. So, you know, police are really there for that crowd control and traffic control. Bloomsday, for example, brings in all the senior volunteers, their co-ops. I mean, so there's a lot of people that are manning those intersections. That helps bring down the cost. You know, like I was showing Hoop Fest in 2018, you know, it was pretty expensive. If they hadn't had that cap, they would have been looking at probably about $40,000 extra than what they had planned, which, right, that's not reasonable for anybody to budget. So I think that's been another thing that we've really looked at is trying to, how do we provide a secure event while still, you know, managing that and realizing there's some, you know, fluctuation, again, depending on who signs up to work it. But so I think that's something that we'll still keep doing. And I think to your point, Councilmember Cathcart, is how do we come up with something really transparent so any event who's saying, I'm doing a new event, can plug in a few numbers and at least get a rough estimate. So that's the next phase and something we need to continue working on.
Yeah, I don't know how many people are coming up with new events every day, but it would just be nice to have that easy, so.
Any more questions?
I just want to thank Carly. I've been working with her on this for many, many years, and I think this is like the last thing she has to do before she transitions to her new job at the city. So, way to hang in there.
They took special events with me, sir. So
okay.
I had one quick question,
Sure.
which is, this kind of locks in the prices forever, right? Is there a way that we can build in like revisiting as inflation or the events change in size?
We'll have to.
Okay.
I think, and that was something we kind of talked about last year is, I mean, I didn't want to get bogged down with the phase in, but I think obviously by 2025, I think relook, do it, what's the past 5-year average, come up with a new flat fee that makes sense. Obviously, police, fire costs will have increased during that time. So yeah, I think what we'd like to build in is probably a 4 to 5 year fee schedule. I'm hopeful by that point we'll have something, as Councilmember Cathcart suggested. So, but we will have to revisit.
Sorry, this prompted another question. Is this then just the city saying this is what our costs were, this is our 5-year average, or do they get to have any input on that?
No, it's just the city.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. All right. Oh, I'm supposed to ask for some council sponsors on this. Do we have any council sponsors? So Council President Beggs. And is there a second one?
I'm still thinking.
If I'll recruit one.
Oh,
if
wait.
we don't get one.
I can be the second.
Okay.
All right, there. All right, so next up on the agenda, we have parking study implementation updates with Justine, or Justin, I don't know how to pronounce.
All right, well, thank you for having me today. I'm Justin Ray, and I'm with Parking Services, and I am here because Chris Becker couldn't be here today. Let's see. There we go. All right, so I am here to provide you with parking updates on the parking system, what's happened since last fall, and then also some of the things that are coming up the next few months here. So the meter that is in front of you actually is on street right now. In December, we ended up pulling a lot of the meters that were Duncan Liberty because their 2G life had ended. And so this meter has a vault that is from 1995, and then the mechanism inside is from 1997. So this is just the last few years, again, catching people up. So in 2019, we did the downtown parking study. That was in February of 2019. And then after that, we came up with a strategy roadmap. And that roadmap really helped us decide what we were going to do for the next few years. And then that fall, we started our stakeholder engagement. We finished the U-District parking study, which was just occupancy only. And then we did a resolution for both the parking study and the U-District parking study to recognize both. Then that fall, we did a paid parking equipment RFP, and that was the last thing for 2019. In 2020, we did a website content rebuild, and that rebuild was really comprehensive. We hadn't done that in a really long time. The parking petting zoo was in the spring, and that was a look at all of the equipment that the city might be getting. Then in March, COVID happened. We shut down parking, and we did pickup zones for parking. So all the 10-minute curbside spots. Then in May of that year, 25th, we resumed paid parking. And then in the fall, we did another RFP, and that one was for the parking management systems. So the parking management systems were for citation management system, LPR, and for permits. In 2021, we finished our on-street paid parking map. That was a huge foundational item for us because it connects the dots between our parking spaces, our assets, and GIS. And so it's something that eventually we did make it available to the end user, but eventually we like to tie that into the actual spaces. So then in 2021, we also put forward parking SMCs and the fee schedule. And that was a 1.5-year project for us with a lot of different departments. So that was in 2021. We also did our citation management system, and we brought it online. That was replaced Duncan Solutions. And so that was in the summer. We completed the mobile payment RFP in last fall, I guess, of 2021. So I think it was October-ish that we put it out. No, it was August. We ordered electric vehicles last year. The meter contract was approved. The kiosk contract was approved. We brought forward the parking advisory SMCs to change that code. We finally got the Spokane Investment Pool loan, which was the first of 3 last fall. And then, of course, you guys brought forward the parking department emergency ordinance. In 2022 so far, we've put in a fence out at the shop at the parking building, and then also put in electric vehicle chargers. And then we also have completed the contract for the mobile integrator, which is Park Mobile. So this is what's coming in the next month-ish for you guys. So the customer communication for special loading zones is coming this week, actually. And so in December of last year, we put out a letter to all of our special loading zone customers. And the letter basically let them know that we would be discontinuing meter bag use. And so that's because our new devices will all be solar eventually, and we can't have any bags over those devices. And so we put out a survey to those people to figure out how they're using the bags, when are they using the bags, and just find out more. And so that was in December. We evaluated all of the surveys in January, and then we started making changes to our system. So those changes include SMC changes, hopefully to the permit section, and then a few fee changes as well related to those that are coming. This week and month, we're going to be doing systems testing. So that involves how do the meters work for mobile payment? Is that push? Is it working properly? Are the meters and mobile payment communicating with one another and with our citation system? So that type of thing. And then we'll finalize our communication plan as we roll out devices and the letters. So this is our on-street paid parking map. And I don't know, hopefully you guys have visited this before. So this is the customer view, and this is the entire zone. So the boundaries on there, but that's really what we are updating to right now. So putting all of the block numbers on there, making sure that we have the right time limits, changing colors, which I'll talk about in a minute. But this map is a key element for us for permit reservations and to know where the paid parking areas are. April 18th through 29th, we'll actually be reaching out to our internal and external customers and start communicating with them what's coming. So we'll have talking points, who's the point of contact. We'll update our website. In December, we also created a website just for paid parking updates, and we try to update that weekly or bi-weekly, or bi-monthly, I guess. And so we'll update that. We'll be doing systems training with staff so that they know how to use everything, and if they get questions for customers on the street, they can help them. And then we'll really start promoting the new devices too. May 2nd through 6th will be a really big week for us. So the 2nd, we will have McKay in town, and we will be removing the meters in this area. So these are our phase 1 meter removal area and installation. And so then the following day, May 3rd, we will be replacing the devices in these areas. And so we're going from a 1-to-1 relationship to a 2-to-1 relationship in terms of spaces. And so we'll be out in the street making those changes, and then we'll also be out in the street helping people with those changes too. And so we plan on having, again, a rollout process with staff. We'll have T-shirts and trying to be good ambassadors for them. At the same time, we are bringing Park Mobile on board. And so Park Mobile, again, is our integrator. So we'll have all new decals that go on the devices. And then we'll also have Park Mobile as an option and Passport as an option. This is just for phase 1 area. We will eventually go to phase 2 this summer. And at phase 2, we'll roll out Park Mobile and Passport together system-wide, or city-wide, I guess. And then that week as well is when we're going to stop the meter bag use. And so starting the 3rd officially, we'll have placards instead of meter bags that go on to reserve a space. And so we've been kind of phasing to that now, but this will be official. No one can use meter bags that week. And we do have a communication theme too, I should say. Changes coming and changes here. So this is a little look at our new, I didn't bring the device with me, it's a little heavy. Our new meters. So this is on the far left is a dual space meter. So you can see the dark purple, light purple. The far right is just a single space meter, which is dark purple. We have 3 colors, and they'll go along with our time limits, which is new. So purple or lilac will be 2 hours. blue will be 4 hours, and green will be all day. And so these devices, our current devices, sorry guys, oops, I guess I won't show you. Let's try that. Our current devices just take coins and app. These devices will take coin. They'll take 3 credit cards, which will be consistent with all parking services payment methods, so MasterCard, Visa, and Discover. They will take contactless payment and other methods. The mobile app will take Park Mobile, of course, Passport, and we can add additional mobile apps. And then the mobile payment you can actually do by scanning the QR code. You can call them to make a payment. You can also go online to make a payment. So there's more mobile options, which is really nice. And so that's that.
Do we know what the like response time is for if you're calling to pay?
Super fast. It's less than a minute, actually.
Wow.
Yeah. We've never had that, and so that's pretty exciting for us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Councilmember Stratton, go ahead.
Hi, Justin. Thank you so much for all your work. I do have a question. I know that at least 3 positions in this area department are on extended leave. And what I'm worried about is this presents a pretty heavy lift for the staff like you that are trying to put all the pieces together to get this moving forward. Are there plans, or do those 3 positions, do they plan to return soon to help out with this, or is there a plan to bring folks in to help you guys with this?
Well, that's a great question, Karen. So we have been
Okay.
working on this, obviously, for a long time. And
Exactly.
so I think my hope is that Chris will be back next week. And then ideally, Jackie's going to be back the first week of May. And I don't know about Lori yet. But we've been working for this, or towards this, for a long time. And Kirsten Davis is helping us too. We're relying on the vendors. We have Dixon too. So I think we'll be fine. It is a huge lift, and we're working a lot of hours. So if I yawn occasionally, don't hold that against me. But yeah, I think we're going to be fine. The next few weeks are going to be really busy.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate all your work. I just, it's concerning to me that those positions have been gone, and you're starting to unroll this and get this out there. So I don't know how much help council members can be, but if there's anything we can do, let us know.
Well, you can come see the meter and promote it, and that's a good way to do it. So I will
Thank
say the colors that we did choose are city flag colors, and we did that intentionally. So the purple obviously is not on the city flag, but since it's lilac, that is why we chose those colors. And so good to know. And then I will just show you guys some upcoming work.
One quick question. So is there May 2nd to 6th when this work is happening, is there going to be a lot of parking disruptions downtown that folks should just be aware of?
There could be, but I don't think that there will be, honestly.
Okay.
So the way that we're planning on doing it, we'll reserve a space on probably both ends of the block or one side of the block. And so we're literally going to do it in that map. And we'll have 4 people doing it at a time. Each meter takes about 5 minutes a piece, so we can roll it out in literally 2 days. And then it might be that when they go in, there will be a different meter on than when they come out. We'll be very lenient on enforcement that week, and we'll pay the meter too if we can. But it'll be a transition, so.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah. And then this is our upcoming work that you'll see in the next few months too. So again, permits, we do have to change some SMCs and fees around those. And then we will bring the permit system online. We're working on that right now. It's very phased. But hopefully in the next month, I might have 1 online, and then I'm just going to keep bringing them online. And then phase 1 and 2 of kiosks will be June, July. And then phase 2 of meters will be June, July too. Our electric vehicles, They are delayed. We are hoping that they are in, I'm hoping July at the latest. And so then we'll install LPR then. We're waiting because if we change that, it's $5,000 per vehicle to move it. So we're saving $15,000 by not moving it. And then contract-wise, we are going to bring forward a passport contract for them as a partner. So not integrator, but partner. So that is it. Any questions?
Any questions?
I have a couple. So a couple years ago, your department came to us and said we really needed to change the meter rates because of market conditions, so that when it's a crowded block, we'd raise the rates and do that. And we haven't heard back from you. I mean, we actually didn't do it as high as your department wanted, but it seemed urgent at the time. And I know there's a deficit, and that parking is still, it's recovered. There's no spaces downtown very, very often in the core. So I'm just wondering what the plan is for you all to exercise your discretion on using those market forces.
Well, I think we would like to raise rates. I think that's something that we would really like to do. If the mayor's office supports it and you support it, and there's agreement, I think that's something we can move forward with. We haven't reached that consensus though yet.
Well, we gave you the okay from council. So, and then second question, University District. I know you have so much on your plate, but I'm just wondering, now that bridge is there, there's a lot of people who just park at free parking on the street, and then it takes up spaces that businesses could use as their customers. So I'm wondering, what's the timeline on kind of revamping, putting either meters or 1 hour only instead of people spending all day at the university and just parking there for free?
Yeah. So that area is in the paid parking zone.
It
and
is?
It is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's already in the paid parking zone. So at any point, we can add meters. We're working over there. Well, my outreach has been postponed due to staffing and COVID, and it was back on and off again, but soon I will be back over there. So our goal is to do parking management over there. We don't have devices to put over there, so that's a piece. So we have to recover and do that. We could do signed areas first, but our outreach is really figuring out what people, what the businesses need. Do they have employees? Do they have employee parking? Do they want to change their driveways? Do they have customers that come and see them? Do they use on-street parking? So all of those things we're looking at, and then do they like parallel parking? Do they like angle parking? If we were to change it to 2 hours, 4 hours, or all day, what would be their preferences? So we're looking at all those things. We're probably, our goal is to have something to them with the plan this year. It might be this year. We'll just have to see. Hopefully this fall we'll have more of a plan for them. We may not have devices. It might be signs. We need money, that kind of thing.
Okay. Well, thank you. And again, I know you have lots on your plate, so thanks.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thank you. All right, next up we have new design guideline. Dean.
Well, let's see. Let's see if I can figure this out here. No, I can't figure it out. Annalie, help. Hi, everybody. My name is Dean Gunderson. I'm the senior urban designer for the city. I work in the planning department. And my staff and I manage the design review process for the city. And there we go. There we go. Thank you. And this is a project that we initiated before the pandemic. We actually issued the RFP back in December of 2019, and we're actually going before the. Well, I'll just run down through here. This is where we're at right now. This is the third time that we've come before City Council. The last was in September of 2021, where we reviewed a draft of the design guidelines. We were at Urban Experience in 2019, August, so that tells you how long we're at. And then this is what we're going to be doing on Wednesday. We're going to be having the public hearing with the Plan Commission, making the recommendations that will come back to you as the council. But these are the kind of the high-level public engagements. We've also done public surveys and multiple outreaches to stakeholders. The summary of the project is kind of in a nutshell. Not all projects that get permitted in the city go through design review. There are a few kind of high-level projects that have the greatest potential for making improvements to the public realm, and those are the ones that we tend to flag for design review. But not all projects that go through design review have a current set of design guidelines. We only have design guidelines for those projects in the downtown and mini storage projects next to residential. So what we've are opting for is to provide the necessary tools to the design review board and urban design staff so they can provide adequate design review for public projects and structures, for skywalks, and for citywide. And what we'll do is also provide actual links in the ordinance to those design guidelines. Right now, if you need a copy of those, you kind of have to know who to talk to, and then we'll issue a copy or provide a copy for you. For skywalks, right now, almost all of what I would consider development design standards are embedded in Title 12, which deals with public right-of-way obstructions. And almost all that language deals with the actual conveyance of air rights. So it's written in very legal terms, and how do you craft a contract, how do you enter into arbitration or mitigation, but sprinkled throughout there are the actual criteria for skywalks. So we thought it'd be best that we actually pull those out of Title 12 and build a new chapter in the land use standards that just is for skywalks. And then we would improve clarity in the ordinance by updating outdated terms and clarifying the design departure eligibility. It's another service that the design review process provides, and being very clear about application standards and actually also removing the requirements for shoreline conditional use permits and planned unit developments from design review. And I'll go into that in a second, but essentially what it is shoreline conditional use, neither in the shoreline conditional use permits or in the planned unit development ordinance itself does it make mention that there should be design review. So we changed shoreline conditional use permits code last year as to preface the removal here, but the planned unit development code was revised in 2006. But buried deep in the decision criteria for PUDs there was a reference to design review occurring, and that there would be a recommendation that would be made. And it made very little sense for my design review board or for us staff, because what we were reviewing was their preliminary plat. So they hadn't designed any buildings yet. They hadn't designed their site design. And so what were we reviewing? So we were removing those explicitly out of the design review standards. In the case of planned unit developments, it was removed back in 2006. We're just kind of finally fully removing it, and we're bringing shoreline conditional use permits language into conformance with our design review criteria. And the three things that we're going to be really addressing in the new design guidelines is we're improving their readability. So they're difficult to follow documents now, so we're making it very sure that you can follow through and read it. That's actually an excerpt from the guidelines. And then we're improving legibility, which makes it easier to kind of pore through and understand what aspects of the design guidelines are applying to what. And we're providing a list of commonly used urban design terms. Specifically, Greg Francis wanted me to add the word plinth, so because that comes up quite often, and he wanted to know what did that mean. So we added that document. The three new design guidelines, these are for public projects and structures. This is for skywalks, and this is for citywide or base guidelines. Now, we are not expanding design review. These are simply providing the tools for the design review board and urban design staff to do the work that we're currently doing. And in order to adopt these guidelines, we're proposing three ordinances that carry in a kind of a list of code amendments. The first is the one that specifically adds the guidelines to the code. So it formally adopts those guidelines. It also adds links to the existing guidelines for downtown and mini storage so that they'll be discoverable now for anybody reading the code. And it states that citywide design guidelines, where those apply in centers and corridors, and it clarifies that the Plan Commission may request the Design Review Board's advice on planning studies. That's currently in the code, but it's done as a single run-on sentence, so we kind of separate them so it's clear that the Plan Commission, which doesn't review development but reviews plans, they have the authority currently, but it's very difficult to decipher in the current sentence that if they're looking at the design criteria of a plan, they could ask that that be reviewed by the board and the board provide them advice. And then it simply states that the action approving authorities, whether it's the planning director or the hearing examiner, could ask the board for advice on a development proposal that would not normally go through design review, but may be of a certain level of complexity. They're now clearly have the authority to be able to ask for that. The second is it takes all of those things that are currently embedded in Title 12, Chapter 2, Article 3, and puts it in 17C, where you find all of the other development and design standards for other project types. And then it adds, again, clarity to the design review process. It clearly states where design departures are eligible. We want to make sure that the Skywalk application requirements refer to the actual design review that will have been conducted. It deletes references to design review committee. The board hasn't been a committee since 2010. It clarifies that Skywalk air rights must conform to Title 12, Chapter 2, Article 3. And it clarifies that the Skywalk development conforms with the standards found in that new chapter. And that's it on an update. Again, we're going to be going before the Plan Commission for a public hearing on Wednesday, and our intent is to come back to the full council for their adoption or the briefing later this month.
Any questions? So then we don't need council sponsors right now. or
Well,
do?
we have one council sponsor. Council member Stratton is one sponsor, but we would like to have a second. I know that Councilmember Cathcart had been interviewed in the phase one. This was of an interest.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Second
so-
sponsor.
Good. Sorry. I nominate Councilmember.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, and next up we have our resolution to approve modifications to TBD projects and funding for 2022 with Shauna, which is she virtual?
I am virtual, thank you.
Since I don't see you here, I assume so.
Thank you, council members and council members opposed. I am with you virtually today. I'm going to share my screen with you and pull up the modifications to the 2020 residential project list and just really quickly in the next couple minutes walk through those with you and answer any questions you might have. All right. So we have talked about the fact that we needed to modify the residential project list funded by the Transportation Benefit District due to a pretty significant escalation in those project costs. We were seeing that both in terms of materials and in terms of labor as well. So what you're looking at here are the proposed projects for 2022. And what we're seeing in District 1 is that the Napa Street from Empire to Rich and the Augusta Ruby to Astor projects are moving forward as intended with an updated cost of just over $1 million. So what we were seeing is that Napa project increased from when we approved that last year at about $404,000 up to $485,000 this year. And we saw similar increases on that Augusta project approved at $371,000, jumping all the way up to $589,000 this year. So due to these cost increases, Glass, Portland, Morton et al. Were addressed last year. And then we have Cleveland, Rebecca et al. Moved out to project year 2023. with Sinto and Sansing Brandon overlays pushed out further to those what we call out project years, which are the 23 to 26 projects. So in District 2, you'll note that the 42nd et al. Group of projects is moving forward as planned, as is the Cedar Street, 4th to Sprague. And you can see that some work has already been done, prep work by street departments and street maintenance on those two. These also had significant cost increases. On the 42nd Street project, we saw it jump from $619,000 up to just over $743,000, and then much more significantly on the Cedar Street project, it was cost out last year, priced out at just over $533,000, and it jumped up to nearly $850,000. So due to these project increases, we have the Adams project, 14th to 16th, being pushed out to next year. And then we have I never say this street name right, Tico et al. And Fisk projects moving up to 2023. So in District 3, you can see that we have one rather large project on Bismarck that is moving forward. That jumped from just over $778,000 out to $1,234,000. So those are essentially the changes that you're seeing in the 2022 residential projects, and we will be coming back to you later in the spring with 2023 and 2024 project lists. The only other real changes that we saw is that the total residential chip seal and grind projects, we were looking at slightly less in spending on that to accommodate some of these other cost changes of just under $100,000, and we are seeing no changes to either our crack seal, micro overlay, sidewalk, or unpaved roadway programs. I can stop sharing. You all have this in your packet, and happy to take any questions on it.
Any questions? I'm not seeing any, Shauna.
Wonderful. I think I am the next item up as well.
You are for traffic calming.
Perfect. I will share my screen once more with you all, and we will take a look at the traffic calming projects per district. We have a little bit more time allocated to this, so if there are additional questions, we've got one piece that's still in motion. But other than that, we seem to be really honed in on the projects coming forward out of the traffic calming subcommittee of City Council to full City Council for approval. So just to take a step back for a moment, this Cycle 10 project list is the project list that was developed in 2020 with the neighborhood councils submitting applications for projects and areas where they were interested in addressing specific concerns in their neighborhood. So it was a little bit of a hybrid of submitting applications and issues that really was setting us up to close out this last cycle of projects in an older model of our traffic calming program and really transition into the traffic calming format of a 4-year project cycle, which we are going to be rolling out this year. So with that, let's take a look at the projects in District 1 right now. So we have projects submitted for Bemis, Chief Gary Park, Logan, Whitman, Minnehaha, and then a combined project in Logan and Bemis. So in the Bemis neighborhood, we're looking at those rapid flashing beacons on both sides of the intersection of East Empire and Garland Ave and North Cook Street. And that'll really help complement the work that's been going on at Shaw and the Cook Street Greenway and improve safety and crossing in that corridor. Next up, we have the Chief Gary Park bump outs along Boone Avenue at Stone and Cook. Those will also really promote pedestrian safety and better access and safety as folks are going to the park. In Logan, we have both sidewalk installation and enhanced crossings with luminaries, and then 20 miles an hour when flashing lights on Perry. In the Whitman neighborhood, we're doing some sidewalk projects on both sides of Pittsburgh from Rowan to Central. And then in Minnehaha, stop signs at Freya and Upriver with marked crosswalks just on that east leg, smaller project there. And then Logan and Bemis, you are all very familiar with this project now, the Illinois Avenue Plazas adjacent to the new trail. You've been briefed on that project a number of times by Kevin Piconso and by Colin Quinhurst as well in their presentations of Illinois Avenue improvements and that separated bike path there. So we're looking at projects just over $2 million in District 1. In District 2, we are looking at a couple of projects in East Central neighborhood to start us out. So in the Fifth Avenue neighborhood retail area, we're looking at rapid flashing beacons with luminaries or lights on the south side of Altamont at Fifth. That will really help with that very busy Altamont crossing and help with the accessibility to the community center there. We're also looking at curb bump outs at Fifth and Haven and Fifth and Fisk, also supporting the neighborhood retail on Fifth Avenue there, as well as the installation of luminaries. And that really builds on the work that the city accomplished a couple of years ago with the installation of sidewalks and street trees in that business district. Up in Grandview Thorpe, we are looking at a project at 17th and D, currently in discussion around missing sidewalk section and treatments to aid in the traffic at that intersection and folks accessing the park right there. Lincoln Heights is looking at two projects. They're looking at a rapid flashing beacon crosswalk with luminaries at 29th and the crossing at Rosars, and tree trimming to help with the improved sightline and visibility for folks crossing there and for pedestrian safety with those vehicles. We're also setting aside funding for a study of Altamont Street in the next 4-year project cycle in our upcoming traffic calming program. In Manitou Cannon Hill, we've got rapid flashing beacons with street lights and tree pruning at 29th and Manitou. Comstock is getting sidewalk infill on the east side of Bernard, 37th to High Drive, crosswalk, bump outs on the north leg of 37th and Bernard, and this is going to be really wonderful for improving the school safety crossings and the access there. West Hills, we're restriping Government Way from 4 lanes to 3 between Greenwood and Riverside, and that's coinciding with some work happening with the Fish Lake Trail there. In Peaceful Valley, small project to do a short bus bump out on Main, the corner of Main and Cedar. Similarly, in Southgate, curb line improvements at Thurston and Pittsburgh. And then finally in Rockwood, we are setting aside funding to study a greenway alignment on 18th Street in the next 4-year project cycle. So District 2 is similarly looking at just over $2 million in traffic calming projects in cycle 10. District 3 at this point is looking at improvements at Audubon Downriver with a crosswalk and those street lights or luminaries at La Crosse and Northwest Boulevard. North Hill is getting a sidewalk on the north side of Rowan from Monroe to a half block east of Post Street. North Indian Trail is looking at 2 projects in this cycle. The installation of sidewalk on the north side of Shawnee from Moore to Indian Trail on that school route to improve the safety of kids walking to school. And then we're also setting aside funding to study safety improvements along Indian Trail in the next project cycle as well. Restriping Strong Road east of Cannon Street for 5 Mile Prairie, and a pedestrian island at Cannon Street, similarly with those luminaries. I think you'll notice throughout this that where we are improving these crossings, then we are also staying up to date with best practice and improving our lighting for those crossings as well. And then finally, we're looking at rapid flashing beacon in the Audubon Downriver neighborhood at Alberta and Longfellow. And so the goal is over the 4-year project cycle that we have equity in spending between the neighborhoods. And so I know I've spoken with council members opponent about this. In this current project cycle, District 3 is sitting at just over $1 million in project expenditures. And that will even out over the longer project cycle. We're looking at a couple of additions citywide, though, for the entire traffic calming program. We are shifting the mobile speed radar program logistics in terms of placing the speed radar trailers and moving those speed radar trailers from the Office of Neighborhood Services to the cop shop. And that is really a minimal cost at just over $2,000 annually. Very exciting, though, coming up, we've been working on this for a long time, is the residential street mural program. And so we are looking to fund Spokane Arts to administer a 3-year pilot program to paint up to 2 street murals per neighborhood, and looking at a cost of both painting the murals and administering the program at just over $672,000. And so the total cost for all of these recommended projects funded by the traffic calming, speed radar, and red light cameras is $6,263,333 for cycle 10. I can stop sharing my screen. You all have those materials in your packet, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have on this round of traffic calming.
Any questions for Shauna? Shauna, I had a quick question about the set aside for South Indian Trail. You also talked about adding another $400,000 for future projects, and that was not included on this.
My apologies. I'll make sure that that's added when we are submitting the actual resolution for on-base.
No problem. Anybody else? All right, so we needed 2 sponsors for both of Shauna's proposals. I think they're both actually identified on there already. Is that right, Shauna?
I believe that they're identified on the briefing paper, but
Yeah.
I'm happy to follow up after the meeting if they're not.
Yeah, it looks like Councilmember Stratton and me for traffic calming 10, and then Councilmember Wilkerson and me for the TBD projects. So, should be good.
Perfect.
All right, thanks, Shauna.
All right, thank you. Yep.
All right, next up, we got interim zoning ordinance regarding indoor emergency shelters and high industrial zones with Eric Finch.
All right, good afternoon, Council. I appreciate the opportunity to brief you all. No other handouts other than what's already been included in your packet. This is a necessary interim zoning ordinance to allow basically a congregate shelter to exist at least on an interim basis within a high industrial or heavy industrial zone. The purpose for this, ultimately is kind of joined with our need for additional capacity for our shelter system, as you all well know. This siting has come out of basically what has been about a 6-month effort to secure a location, with this location being, the best identified, but it being in a heavy industrial zone. I think anecdotally, as we've researched this, there's I think been many cities that have followed a model of using warehouse type space, in conjunction with other shelter service or shelter provider type areas. The other part that I think is important to call out for this is that it is an interim zoning ordinance. If we wanted to do this, long-term, obviously we'd have to go through some additional steps. This will, obviously be open for public comment and a kind of a 6-month kind of renewal process. So we'll have that additional scrutiny. And certainly our intention would be to follow on and have that additional 6-month piece added as we go through the review cycle. Again, this is meant to be kind of a multi-year strategy for us, on adding this emergency shelter space, and we'd appreciate your support. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
Well, I guess here's my frustration. We basically, government is going to get a special ability to change zoning, but private industry doesn't get that same. And my frustration is, in the Northeast Public Development Authority, we've got a little area there that's heavy industrial, and that has made it so that we can't do overlays, we can't change some of the land use there to actually try and get residential, mixed use, some big things that we would like to see happen there. And so I guess from the administration's view, I would just ask the question, why should the council grant a special permission on this, but we don't do it for others?
Well, and it's a fair question, Councilmember Cathcart. And again, I think from at least my lens, as we've looked very exhaustively at 100 different locations and basically throughout the city, and as we resolved ourselves to the areas that we thought would have the most minimal impact in other areas, this heavy industrial zoned area became at least that recommendation from at least our team. So I guess what I would also suggest that comes with the bookend of that is that this is an interim process. And so I think we will have the opportunity to kind of learn and reflect. And I would suggest that could work in both directions, not just from my lens as it relates to housing and human services, but it could also work the other way in terms of looking at what might be in the realm of possible for other interim zoning.
Yeah, I'm all in favor of doing interim zoning ordinances if we have to. So, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
We're short of council members today, and I think it takes 5 votes. And I guess since we're deferring the RFP, if we end up deferring this vote till next Monday, is that going to change anything?
I don't think so. We would probably just, we're in that, kind of hurry up and wait mode. But, we appreciate the support. If it needs to roll, I think as long as they can be done, in a timely fashion, then we would appreciate it.
All right, Councilmember Stratton.
Thank you. I had one question, Eric. So if this is an interim zoning that we're talking about, but the site that we're looking at is a lease, a 5-year lease, is that correct?
Yes, it will be, I think, somewhere between 2 and 5 years. Those final details are still being resolved, but it'll be up to 5 years, yes. And 5 years is the trigger, really, that we would have to do permanent changes, within the zoning ordinance.
Okay, that would be the permanent changes. Just a couple things. I completely share Councilmember Cathcart's frustration. So maybe those discussions can continue. And also, Council President Beggs brought it up that it might be with the lack of council members tonight's meeting, we may want to look at deferring it. I don't think we could do it at this meeting, but it might be something we can talk about at our briefing. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you.
I have a related question because we took off the RFP for today, and I'm just wondering, can council members get copies of the RFP responses? Is that?
Yes, I'll check. I mean, there's a process we're supposed to follow in terms of trying to keep that, I think with the right people on it, and then it will become public. So, or certainly available for you. So as long as I'm not violating that, sure, absolutely happy to supply. I think as soon as the vote is done, right, then we'll be able to confidently bring that forward. Okay. But we can't really until the COC vote is complete.
I think we just want to see it before we're asked to vote on it.
Yes.
As you might imagine, we're getting lots of.
Oh, yes, no, absolutely.
About it. So
absolutely.
As soon as the COC votes, if you can get that to us, that'd be great.
Absolutely.
Anything else?
How involved is the administration with CLC in them coming to their determination?
Well, it's a separate process. So the way the process works is, the RFP, the city will kind of be the staff functionary in terms of getting the RFPs out. The COCs has an RFP and evaluation subcommittee that is really kind of the sole ones that will review and provide their kind of recommendations back. They first provide that back to the COC board, which then does a vote. And upon that vote, assuming that a certain provider is selected and recommended by the COC board by that vote, it would come back to the council for your consideration.
But to follow up on Councilmember Bingle, do we have people from CHHS on that COC review or not?
Well, no. I mean, we're the staff folks, so we're kind of involved in the conversations, but we're not involved in the vote.
Okay.
And we're not involved in, and we're not there during the review of it.
Okay, no, it's good to know, because other RFPs I'm aware of, our staff has been on there. So I was just wondering if our staff is on it or not, but it sounds like they're not.
Correct. No, I mean, again, we're loosely tied, but we're also trying to kind of keep a layer of separation for obvious reasons.
And one of the criticisms that's coming up against this idea is that this goes against what people would consider to be best practices. But you've said that many cities have examples of this warehouse. Can you give an example of a model similar to this?
Yeah, I think Boulder, Colorado. I mean, there's larger cities, and when you look at obviously like Seattle and Los Angeles that have but part of that is just based on overall population. I think that and let me clarify, because I think it's a good point you bring up, Councilmember Bingle. Best practices always would be smaller numbers, more diverse. And so I do want to be honest about that. But I can say, again, trotting across 100 different places where we've gotten a very 99 no's, that ultimately you kind of have to take what you have and what you have available to you. And we're actively looking within this facility in terms of how we can kind of do separation to help kind of provide a little bit, I think better of that kind of small segregation type feel. But this is also not done. I think this is one of the other things, especially as things, kind of unfortunately at times blow up on the media or out there in the kind of wild. This is an RFP for one part of our, of our emergency shelter piece to address overall capacity issues that have been haunting us since last fall. It is not meant to be the entire plan or how we're going to address homelessness, as a region or as a city. And so I think to a degree, those are getting blended, and this is just one tool that we're trying to improve on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would say when you come back with RFP, I would love more in-depth information about the other cities that are using a model.
Okay, very
and
good.
the
We can do
number
that.
of people in those warehouses. If they're around 250, that would be helpful. Anybody else?
And I
just
have
see
one more
Karen's
question.
hand. Yeah.
Go ahead, Councilmember.
Eric, I
Shea.
just want to, thank you. I just want to make sure, Eric, have members of the COC and members of the CHHS board, have they been invited to go out to that location like we did and look around?
They have, and interestingly enough, that will happen tomorrow.
They're going tomorrow?
That's correct.
All righty, anybody else? All
Okay,
right.
thank you all.
And then item 7 has been tabled to another time. And that's everything. There's no executive session. All righty, the next Urban Experience meeting will be May 9th, and this meeting's adjourned.
Good job, Councilmember.
Nailed it.